Yeah, all of our ranks have reset. All the new people here, you've never had a rank to begin with. It's all good. So we do this every month. If you're new, come up tournament. It's usually down there in the food court because no one ever goes there. Hang out, get some pins. I think most of you have gotten your little pin from Reese here. So those get handed out. We will have pre-sales for the official Silph pins after the tournament. Besides that, Reese has also made some extra. This is from Jess. The rest of these are made by Reese and Vision Creations. So the winner here will get a little Bulbasaur with an LED light that you can fit inside for Halloween.
That's awesome.
Prize here is an Umbreon lamp. So you plug it in and it turns on. And then obviously the winner gets the trophy with the Sinister Cup badge on it, all gold.
Good work, Reese.
Well done.
Alright, and so if you're unfamiliar with the system, the Silph website does everything for you. So now without any further ado, we begin the tournament. Good luck everyone. Start it now. 29 people. Good luck. Beep, beep, beep.
Good morning, lovely. ZoëTwoDots here with some more Pokemon Go goodness for you, and today we are doing the Melbourne Sinister Cup, the first round for this month's Silph Road Arena Sinister Cup. So I'll put the details for the cup up here on the screen. I'm going to jump into a quick little team building guide for you guys, and then we'll jump back into some of my matches, and then the final round, whoever goes to the last head-to-head here in Melbourne. So fingers crossed, let's cheer on our Melbourne squad and see who comes out victorious. But awesome turnout. There are a lot of humans here for PvP, so PvP is very clearly strong down in Melbourne. So if you guys need a group to battle with when you come down, details will be in the description. Okay, so let's jump into a quick little team building guide for the Sinister Cup. I know this is a little bit late at this point. Probably you guys have mostly done your comps, but if you're doing one for the last week of the month, here's a little guide for you. But next month's cup, the Ferocious Cup, has also been announced, but we'll jump into that ASAP. We'll be tackling that like this/early next week, so that you guys have more time to prepare and play and get ready and practice and all that good stuff. So for the Melbourne Cup, I got absolutely destroyed. For the Melbourne PvP for Sinister, I got wrecked. I didn't change up my team after the changes happened to Power Up Punch. Power Up Punch got a bit of a nerf in terms of how much damage the charge move actually does. I was like, oh, I don't have any time to just reshuffle my team and play around. I absolutely should have. I got destroyed with the setup that I had. But that doesn't have to be the case. We have got some fantastic resources now coming through Silph.gg. So I'll link down below. Silph.gg is, the official Silph Arena website. And besides just, facilitating and tracking all the matches and your ranking and all those things, there are now resources for each cup. So for Sinister Cup, there's a whole bunch of, what is the cup? What are some team building strats? What are some resource guides? Some videos people have done. There's already stuff being put in there for next month's Ferocious Cup. So link in the description, check it out. It is a fantastic resource. So, and just in case you don't know as well, the Sinister Cup is played in the Great League, so Pokemon 1500 CP and under. The typings for Sinister are Ghost, Psychic, Steel, and Fighting, and no Dark type, even if it is a multi-type. It can be, normal Psychic, it could be Steel Fairy, but it can't be Dark something or Dark at all. There are a couple other exclusions as well. No mythical Pokemon, no Skarmory, no Hypno, and as I said, no Dark typings. So if we jump to the resources page as well, there's this fantastic graphic here from Palamon on Reddit, and they've put together just a basic beginner's guide, which is really fantastic, especially with all these cups changing every month. This is really quite a cool way to visualize, especially for myself being a visual learner, visualizing your team. So pretty clear here, pick a fighter, pick a fighting type. They've recommended there what ones they think are good. There's the legacy move Primeape, which some people may not even have at all. Second there, picking a Ghost. Alolan Marowak, highly recommended. I personally still need to get used to using Alolan Marowak. I know it's been meta relevant for quite a while, but I still don't think that I use mine optimally. Third there is to pick another Ghost. It is a Ghost heavy cup, and here they are recommending Dusclops. I absolutely second this. Dusclops is a beast. It is a tank. It will take the hits, and it also deals quite a punch as well. So there's a good few move options for it too, and because it has a fire charge move, move as well, it can kind of take on some of the, you know, steel types. I did also practice with Drifblim. That was originally on my team, was the Drifblim. I really like it. It's quite a fun one to use as well, but it does, if you get unlucky with your matchups, you can get, like, you know, cop quite a hit, unfortunately. Fourth is to pick a psychic. I went a bit off brand and picked Girafarig. I made my whole team kind of around Girafarig. It is not necessarily the optimal necessarily, but when there are particular matchups, it absolutely crushes. So in the Melbourne tourney, someone brought in a Toxicroak. My Girafarig was able to kill it in four or five, I think it was 4 fast moves. So 4 fast moves from Girafarig deleted the Toxicroak. They brought in their Poliwrath, and I was able to, I'm pretty sure, quick attack them down, 1 charge move, which they shielded, I'm fairly certain, and then just quick move it all the way down. Like, Girafarig is not bad. It was also good against the Ghosts because it resists the Ghost type moves as it's half normal, or resists neutral. It doesn't take as much damage from the Ghost types, essentially. It was really fun to use, something that was a little bit, not the standard pick, like not picking a Cresselia or something like that. It also holds its own against Cresselia, which is pretty fun. Then after that is to pick a steel type. I originally had Steelix on my team, and then for my second cup in Newcastle, I ended up with Steelix and Mawile. Again, I didn't finish fleshing out my team for Newcastle, but I really love the bulk that Steelix has. But Mawile is an absolute beast, especially because it got the move shake up halfway through the cup as well. Just Bite tears through so much stuff. Bite just eats Drifblim. It does a fair amount of damage to Steelix as well. You can get to power up punch on the Steelix, which will be super effective. Not a lot of damage from the power up punch, but then Mawile just chewing through Steelix again to the next charge move, to the next charge move. It's pretty impressive, to be honest, and I had a lot of fun using it, and I'm glad that I did get to use it, because it is the one that I accidentally gave a second charge move to months and months and months ago, and I was like, well, that's never going to be PvP relevant. It was, yay. And then lastly here it says to pick a flex. So you might go with something double steel, it recommends here, which I ended up with the steel, with Steelix and Mawile, or you could go double fighting, which is also really, really viable. Double psychic I didn't practice with or play around with, so you might have to watch a couple other videos to see if this is more your style. I did also verse a couple of Alolan Raichus, and those were very formidable. They can charge up to their charge move incredibly quickly and then just hammer those out, either getting you to spend shields or getting you to cop a lot of damage. So I would totally, like, I honestly might consider, if I had another Sinister Cup in, which I might be doing an online one, I would honestly consider maybe putting Alolan Raichu onto my team, because it is pretty decent. So thank you, Palamon, for a awesome resource here. I hope to see your stuff next month for the Ferocious Cup as well. And then jumping over onto Game Press, we have this image that is pretty much the meta simplified, what counters what, and this is by Loma96. And it's a really nice visualization for looking at this image and seeing, okay, fighters are at the bottom and they are going to be countering the steel types on the side there. Steel types are then going to counter the ghosts. The ghosts are then going to go down to the psychic types and the psychics against the fighting. And there's a bit of cross-fighting in the middle, a bit of infighting, you know, the Steelix against the psychics, etc. This all does come down to as well to which movesets you pick for your Pokemon. But for me, looking at this image for, you know, just a good 5 minutes straight, practicing a couple of matches with this image next to me on the laptop screen and doing my battles on the side, just as a visual reference. Yes, I know my typings. Yes, I immediately forget them when the battle starts. It's just something that I need to learn and get better at. But doing practice battles with this image next to you, just to have a bit of an idea of, okay, yeah, I should swap out to that one. Yeah, I remember what moves I've got. Yep, that's going to be super effective. And then once you're in your actual cup, you can kind of, you know, get into that matchup, see who you're versing, and in your own mind visualize where is their Pokemon on my this little image, this little graph. It's not optimal. I need to swap to whatever I've brought in. So I find that a good way for me personally to kind of memorize this who versus who graph, and then be able to in the moment go, I remember where that was sitting on the graph. I should swap, I should stay, you know, whatever it might be. So let's jump into the battle between Arnulf and Not Randy Newman. So Not Randy Newman took out the first place, and Arnulf was kind enough to supply the footage for one of their battles. I'd show you guys my stuff, but as I said, I didn't do too well in the Melbourne Cup. The Newcastle one, I went 2 for 2, but let's show the footage of someone who is competently using these strategies. So starting off here, Arnulf leads with Medicham and then is countered with a Mawile. He's in a pretty good position though. This is like optimal for him. The Mawile is then swapped out for another Medicham. Mirror match, he can use the Power Up Punch to get that buff and then swap out because he now has the swap advantage. Swapping into Alolan Marowak and not shielding here, probably generally expecting a Power Up Punch, but if he was expecting Psychic, at least he knows he can cop a bit of that damage, and this all comes from practice as well. Practice makes perfect, and you can learn to, you know, what you can better take as an opponent. One shield there spent by not Randy Newman. Power Up Punch, not going to do a lot of damage either, and he knows that he can cop that hit. Gets off a second charge move, again, either trying to bait the shield or do super effective damage and take down the Medicham. Mawile comes back in, which is going to absolutely eat through Alolan Marowak, which is fine though. He's still got his Medicham in the back there, healthy. He's got 2 shields. Is he going to spend it? Yes, he does. Keep it nice and safe. It was a bit of a bait, but I mean, it is what it is. Power Up Punch going out, and then he's going to get this Mawile down and gone. Lastly comes in the Poliwrath. This isn't fantastic spot to be in, I guess. And having now spent his last shield, swaps into Steelix. Steelix is pretty much at full health and can cop a whole bunch of hits from the Poliwrath. Just absolutely, you know, even though it's super effective, just, yep, hit me with it, can take it down, do some more damage against the Poliwrath, get that last shield out, and kind of put himself in a better spot. Like, you can kind of do things where you're using a Pokemon that's in the back of your storage as a third shield. You've already spent your 2 actual shields. Chuck in a tanky Pokemon, chuck in a meaty Pokemon to cop a whole bunch of hits. And, you know, Steelix is there, got a slither of health, but Medicham's still in the back with a little bit left to go. A really cool overall battle between these 2 guys, and you can kind of see why they are at the top, the 1st and 2nd place. I have got all of the previous matches as well that I watched through, and there's just some awesome strats, but there's too much to go through in one video, sadly. So let's jump back into the rest of the comp down in Melbourne.
It's the 3rd biggest tournament in Melbourne. Congratulations to not Randy Newman.
Woo!
Winning, sweeping the tournament 5-0. Wow! And also thank you ZoëTwoDots for coming with us.
No worries, thank you.
I hope you got a score you were happy with.
I got a score.
M. Gibson. Yeah. Yep. 2nd best rookie.
Woo!
J. Door here. Best rookie. Congratulations. Congrats. 3rd place, Matthew. 2nd place, Sizzle Me This, Arnold. So you've got a little light. Oh, awesome. You put it in, and it lights up the Umbreon. Sick! There we go. 1st place, Nick.
Good work, dude.
Thanks, man.
Sweet.
Tournament's officially over. Once I conclude the tournament, all your ranks will be updated and you can see where you are in relation to everyone else.
So thank you once again, Melbourne, for having me along to your PvP comp. Absolutely phenomenal players all across the board. I personally only won one of my 5 rounds, I think it was. So some really strong competition down there. Absolutely kicked the heck out of me, but fantastic practice for me to improve for my next cup. So thank you. All the players down there are so wonderfully kind and welcoming and just like genuine sweethearts as well. So if you're ever down in Melbourne and you need someone to PvP with, if you're going to miss your cup back at home, get in touch with the Melbourne squad through Discord, through Facebook, and head out to one of the tournaments. Very fun, very inviting. Totally recommend. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to everyone who did leave a like as well. And if you'd like additional ways to support the channel, links for Patreon and the merch are in the description down below. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever the it is for you. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.